Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another banger. So previously, we dropped all of our victim builds for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. Now it's only right and it's only fair for me to now drop all of our family member builds in this video here. So if you're new here and you still appreciate TCM content, then smash a like for one, and then subscribe to the channel, bro. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to try to keep this game, going for a little bit longer on the channel. And unfortunately, we all heard the news, but soon we're going to have to find a different horror game. Hopefully they make one super similar to this and also Friday the 13th, but that's to be, discovered later, I guess. But right now, we are looking at these family builds, and we got something for you today, all right? First, let's get into Leatherface, all right? Leatherface is still one of the most overpowered players / characters that you could use in TCM today because he is just way wickedly too strong. Well, not too strong because he should be. He has a chainsaw, but man's is OP, all right? For his loadout, for our main ability, we have level 1, overheat reduction. Level 2, we have stalling resistance. And then level 3, we have instant activation, all right? For our perks, we're starting with rough cut, scout, and also down the rabbit hole. If you know anything about down the rabbit hole or anything about this this build, then you know how insanely toxic this Leatherface build can be. Because you can't really run too far from me unless you use cross spaces and wall gaps. But even if they're, your stuff runs out and you need the well, I can still find you. You're highlighted for 17 seconds. That is OP. All right. Grandpa perk. I think I forgot to talk about grandpa perks and the last time we did this video. That was a way long time ago. But for grandpa perks, we do have exterior alarms. You get a couple different ones. I change them out depending on what my teammates have. But yeah, exterior alarms still goated. It's been pretty goated since we even knew it was a thing. So yeah, exterior alarms, W. All right. For attributes, we put a 50 into our savagery. So every time you get hit, you will feel it. For our blood harvesting, we have 25. We're not really feeding Gramps too much. And then for our third and final attribute, we have endurance, which is going to be a 42. Now, to create this build, all you have to do is like so. Feel free to pause. Feel free to, screenshot whatever you must do. And, create this build because it is a lot of fun. Other than that, we are all set and we are going to our next family member, which is going to be Cook. Now, we all know and we've all played in games where Cook is insanely annoying. And this is one of those annoying Cook builds that you can create. For his Seek ability, level 1, we have reduced ability drain. For level 2, increase detection range. At level 3, all family see noise. If you're not finishing this tree with all family see noise, I really don't know what you're doing. Like as a Cook main, like as a Cook user, yeah, you need to help your team out. You're the ultimate sonar. All family see noise is where you should go every single time with this character. Now for our perks, we have Blood Runner, we have Security Pins, and we also have Scout. For our grandpa perk, we got Suffocating Grip. Now, I do feel that this is one of the best ones to have, especially if you get into a lobby where, the victim team is all in a group chat or, a Discord and they're just grappling and having their way. Yeah, this perk is definitely going to help everyone. Okay. So yeah, if you know Cook, then you know you need security pins, and that is just non-negotiable. Attributes, we have a 35 in savagery. We have a 40 in blood harvesting, and then we have a 25 in endurance. To create this build, this is what you need to do. There are a lot of other perks that you can switch and kind of play with, but just to name a few, we do have Dracula, which is kind of cool, but I do enjoy Fresh is Best. That's where you just, you got to actually land hits on victims, but if you don't really get a lot of hits on victims because you might be a little too slow, then that's when you can trade it out and, go for like Scout or something. There's just so many different things that you could use. If you want to make a blood build, you could do that with two of the perks that I already showed you. I just showed you Fresh is Best, and then you got Surgical. Like, you can really get nasty with a cook blood build if you really wanted to. It just takes a little bit of adjusting, but you could definitely do that. Other than that, let's move on. Hitchhiker, one of my favorites. For his main ability, we have increased escape difficulty for level 1, level 2, increased damage, and then level 3, we have bleed damage. For our perks, we have Venom, we got Scout, and we also have Feral. For our grandpa perk, nobody escapes hell. So if you're running with a cook build like I have, and you got suffocating grip, you got a whole bunch of stuff, nobody escapes hell, is definitely something that you should be looking forward to, especially if that cook build has security pins. And that just makes it almost impossible to escape. Okay, so nobody escapes hell is our grandpa perk. If you need suffocating grip, you can always change that later. For our attributes, we have a 35 in savagery, 25 in blood harvesting, and a 40 in endurance. So we are pretty much chasing around the map and just having a good time. All right, having a good time. These victims, not so much, but we're having fun though, right? That's all that matters. So for our skill tree, if you really want to make a build like this, there are tons of other perks you can use. One of them being Dinner Bell. That was a really, really fun one when I first started playing as Hitchhiker. Another one, if you want a little bit more damage, Big Swing. And I think that is all that I would really point out or recommend to anybody, especially if you're new. I mean, Hysterical Strength is pretty good, especially if you're running a lot and the times that you're low on stamina, you get a little bit more damage. But this also makes me want to swing more. And a lot of victims try to escape or get away to a well. And I don't like that much. So I just stay with the stamina and, go crazy. But it's an option. Next, we have Johnny. A lot of you guys love when I play with Johnny. And I love playing with Johnny because he's crazy. Like, he's crazy. But for his hunt ability, level 1, we got increased clue range. Level 2, we have quicker recharge. Level 3, we got footprint freshness. For our perks, we're rocking the Blood Runner, Scout, and also Valiant. Bro, I just can't pronounce that crap, bro. I'm sorry. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. It is what it is, bro. All right. Grandpa perk, we are using well. If you're on a map that has windows, then Wind Doom might just be something that you want to use. Now, other than that, these are pretty much our only 2 grandpa perks that I would recommend. There we go. All right. Attributes, we got 50 in savagery, of course, a 16 in blood harvesting, and then endurance 45. Endurance and savagery is all you really need on this build, and that's what makes Johnny super toxic. He hits hard, he runs fast, and I mean, yeah, he'll just choke slam you. All right. To create this build, this is the path that you need to go down. And, there's some perks that you could switch out. But other than that, I mean, you can do what you want. Unrelenting, definitely a W. Yeah, there's a few perks that you can't really go wrong with, especially if you use Johnny. You just really want to run as long as you can while slashing as many times as you can, and just being somebody that can really drop a health bar for a victim. But other than that, that's all you really are with Johnny. Next, we do have Sissy, another one of my favorites. And for her main ability, Bane, we have level 1, increased cloud duration, level 2, increased poison duration, and level 3, toxic cloud. Now for her 3 perks, we have Slippery, because we do chase a lot of victims with this build. We also have Rubber Legs, which is really fun to use. And I mean, yeah, it's crazy. It's great. This build alone is just crazy. And then third, we got Special Blend. If you hated Sissy before, this build is going to make you hate Sissy even more. Okay? When it comes to poison and, you know, not being able to control your character right, being a victim, yeah, you're in for it with this build right here. But for our grandpa perk, we are rocking the brute strength. I mean, I've seen some people run Animal Farm. I don't think I would go against it. Other than that, I feel like, I feel like I would go either brute strength or Animal Farm just to use those and, you know, choose it, forget about it, and you're good. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with any of these two. Other than that, attributes, we have a 25 in Savagery, we have a 38 in Blood Harvesting, and then a 35 in Endurance. So we're chasing, we're collecting blood, we're feeding Gramps, we getting busy, especially with the poison. If you want to recreate this build, then this is how you do that. There are other perks that you can easily use, like Violent. You could use that. You can use Down the Rabbit Hole if you're a basement dweller. Or, of course, we can do Blood Banker. That's nice. Also, Spore Loser. If you are sick and tired of being grappled, this is why I got this on level 3. When the meta was just sit there and grapple the family 80 times a minute, then yeah, perks like this definitely helped make the game bearable, because if I lost a close encounter, you were still going to get hit with that cloud. And that's why I got it all the way to level 3. I was just sick of it. And then Siphon is also a pretty good one, especially if you're trying to look for a blood build with Sissy. Now, for our next second to last family member is Nancy. Not a lot of people use Nancy, and I don't know why, but she is definitely a good family member to use. But for her level 1, we have increased spy duration. Level 2, we got quicker recharge. And level 3, we have clear vision. For her perks, I do feel that this is the Nancy meta build for certain. We got Poison Claws, which is always fun to use. You know, it kind of disorients the opponents or the victims a little bit. And then we got Pins and Needles, which when it works, oh my gosh, this perk is amazing. And then we have Unrelenting to kind of help us with our lack of stamina or endurance with this build. Grandpa perks, we are rocking well. I don't think you can go wrong with either well or brute strength, depending on what your other family members are using. You can make that decision on where you'll go. But yeah, we're going to rock with the well. Attributes, we have a 34 in Savagery, a 35 in Blood Harvesting, and a 35 in Endurance. A pretty well-rounded Nancy build. Now, a lot of people are just using Nancy wrong, and a lot of people are chasing victims and doing the whole 9 like your Hitchhiker or Sissy. Nancy is at her best when she's holding down a location. So if it's family house, you want to put traps around where people are jumping out of windows, where people are exploiting wall gaps. You want to put your traps in locations like that. So yeah, even at the gas station, if you know where the the valve is, or the, wherever. You just want to protect things. Stop running in open space with Nancy. Protect and lock down a certain location and make them run through your traps or run to your teammates, pretty much. So that's how you, I probably should have saved all that for a Nancy video, but I just gotta get that off my chest, bro. But we already showed you the skill tree, right? If not, then here is the skill tree. There are a few things that you can easily switch out if you really wanted to. If you didn't want to rock pins and needles, then of course you could use the universal blood donor or universal donor. And if you're going around getting buckets and feeding Gramps, then I mean, this perk is pretty spectacular, especially if you got like 2 semi-decent blood gathering or blood harvesting builds, then yeah, you can get Grandpa up there pretty freaking quickly. Other than that, I mean, Dinner Bell is cool, but it's not necessary in some instances. But yeah, I would say if you were going to change anything, you could use Universal Donor and feed Gramps, man. Feed Gramps. Grandpa is here to help you. So feed him. Feed him. All right. Next, last but not least, we have hands. Okay. I do not have bones. So, I mean, we can look up a bones build if you really want it. But yeah, we got hands. And this is our last build for this video. For our main ability, Rip Stall. Level 1, we got reduced Rip Stall cooldown. Level 2, we got reduced electric trap setup time. And then level 3, we got Rip Stall instant trap. So we pretty much get a free trap when we use our ability. Now, for our 3 perks, we have Barrier Breaker. Just in case, we're not running with the Leatherface, we can still get through those barricades. For our second one, we got Blunt Force Trauma. And then for our third, we do have Blood Runner, because stamina is something that we definitely need with any family member build, because it's a little difficult to get some family members or to get some victims gone, but we got the stamina, we can keep up with just a little bit. All right, just a little bit. Now for our Grandpa perk, we are rocking well. I would say either go well or brute strength, and that's pretty much the only 2 that I use on this build. For our attributes, we have a 45 in savagery, we have a 22 in blood harvesting, and then we have a 38 in endurance. To create this build, this is what you gotta do. And you can make this build a little different if you really wanted to. We got some blood perks here. I mean, we got Rip Stalled. That's a good perk if you just want to just be a little toxic, I should say. Surgical is another good one. Siphon is pretty good, especially if you're actually trying to get blood. And then, of course, like perks like Unrelenting and stuff. Like, I don't use some of these perks, but you can't go wrong. Did I not complete this build? Hold on. Whoa, I'm tripping. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why. Okay. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, that is pretty much all that we have today. I don't know what the freak just happened, so just ignore that. But that is probably why I did not complete the build, because it keeps doing that. So I just want to, thank you guys for watching and, still rocking with the TCM builds and the TCM gameplays. More will be coming soon. If you have any recommendations on what other horror games we should be playing, leave those down below in the comment section for me, please. All right. We're going to be rocking and playing different things, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Hopefully soon we will start streaming, and I look forward to hopefully running some games with you guys. So comment down below, subscribe if you're new, and let us know what we should be doing next. If you want to see some Connie gameplay, let us know. Some hands gameplay, let us know. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.